其实很多小孩子他吃正餐的时候他不怎么喜欢吃啊，所以说就想着怎么样去给他们弄一点能让他们看起来有食欲，然后的话营养又跟得上的东西。
自动。鸡只要是一炸毛，咱们说看不见，走位，收。把这个鸡蛋给我，不然我就叫你这个鸡蛋给摔碎，听到没有？给我啊，不许啄我。听到没有？在聊天，咱们慢慢的去捡鸡蛋，看到没有？哎呦！咱们再来挑战一下一静制动。鸡只要是一炸毛，咱们说。没事，这下有事了。
The city of Detroit started listing the nicer properties at housing auctions. One home that was listed was a particularly incredible bargain. For just $1,000, you could get a historic Tudor-style home from the 1920s, complete with 7 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, and a jaw-dropping 69 windows. All that for $1,000? Count me in. But before you whip out your checkbook, you should know that this home needs quite a few renovations. It needs new electrical wiring, plumbing, and even new wood floors. And those are just a few things on the list. New Jersey mansion, $10. Well, a real estate group had previously bought the land the mansion was sitting on with the intention of building 8 new homes on it, and this old 3,900 square foot mansion is not one of them. But moving a home off a piece of land in one piece isn't like taking out the garbage. There are a lot of moving parts. In the case of this home, moving is actually prohibited by the New Jersey Town Planning Board, who signed a deal to keep the home intact to preserve it. Houses in the UK for €1. You may want to consider relocating to a place called Cobridge in the UK. This town is full of vacant homes for a price that most people can find at the bottom of their purse. In 2015, the UK came up with a way to bring life back to this post-industrial town by selling a bunch of vacant homes for just €1 each. However, the vacant homes and their terraces have been neglected and look more like a scene from TLC's Hoarders than a quaint town. So, while the price of these homes is just €1, buyers are expected to take out a low-interest loan of $35,000 to restore one. They'll also be required to live in the home they bought for 5 years before selling it. Homes in Ololai, Italy, $1. In the city of Ololai, there are around 200 homes that are priced at just €1. Ololai is located in the mountainous region on the Mediterranean island of Sardinia. These unbelievably inexpensive homes are abandoned and in very poor shape, practically unlivable. They require at least $25,000 in complete renovations. As of 2018, 3 homes were purchased, and plenty of requests have been coming in from other countries, so if you're willing to relocate and immerse yourself in the rich Sardinian culture, this may be the deal of a lifetime. A home in San Francisco, $1. This house sits on a plot of land in Hercules, an eastern region of the San Francisco Bay Area. The property is considered an historic home in the area and is titled Historic Home 54. In 2010, the town of Hercules purchased the historic home in hopes of fixing it up and preserving its character. They put down their whopping $1 and went to work on restorations. To move the property to the city's corporation yard to begin working on it, they had to cut the home in half. But they probably should have thought harder about that move, since they quickly realized they couldn't fork up the time and money necessary to make the home great again. That means someone else has to not only buy the home, but move its two halves from the city's property to their own plot of land.
Each of them, on average, has a power of 50 megatons of TNT equivalent, and the power to sweep away all life in a radius of 50 kilometers around it. Now, according to the estimates of the Arms Control Association, there are 15,000 such dangerous weapons in the world. If you bomb only one B-83, according to some calculations, 1.4 million people would disappear from the face of the Earth. In addition, 7.2 million people would be injured because of the radius of thermal radiation would reach 13 kilometers, that's 8 miles, and even half of the arsenal of each of the country's nuclear giants would be able to destroy almost all of humanity. And perhaps these charges wouldn't just split the Earth, but also send it straight to the sun, to certain agonizing death that no sunscreen could ever protect you from. The first strikes of atomic bombs fall on major cities. Unprecedented fires flare up everywhere, filling the whole stratosphere with smoke. Soot obscures the sunlight and brings eternal twilight to Earth. In addition, soot and chemicals, in particular nitric oxide, after rising into the air, would rip the ozone layer to shreds. Then the destructive ultraviolet would flow in a powerful stream for the rest of the Earth without protection. It would cause many plants to mutate and destroy all phytoplankton in the oceans, which means that they would leave part of the fish and other aquatic species without food. In addition, 6.5 tons of radioactive substances would get into the upper layers of the atmosphere, and acid rain would start to pour on the entire planet all over the world. Because of this, 2 billion people, or almost a third of the world's population, would starve. And yet, this is minor compared to what would happen if you blew up the world with super warheads like Russia's RDS-220 hydrogen bomb, known in the West as the Tsar Bomba. These powerful detonations would lead to the average temperature on the surface of the Earth to drop by 8 degrees Celsius, or 46.5 Fahrenheit, and many regions of the Earth would be icebound for decades. This would increase the amount of soot that would rise to the atmosphere 100 times greater. As a result, not a single ray of the sun would penetrate the planet, and nuclear winter would come. All oceans would freeze, and the land would be covered with a thick layer of ice. Life would survive only near geothermal sources on the seabed. The Earth would forever turn into a white, cold ice planet, on which, of course, there would be no people.